All right then. Another day has dawned. So let's look at the copper bookmark. So I did these at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it is now 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So we are at 11 hours. So this is a little bit pliable yet. But this is the gold paste from Epoxy Candy. I'm sorry, not gold, it's copper. Copper. And I see the colors kind of washed out on this camera. I don't know if it's because my light is so close and glaring. So forgive me, the colors are not true right now. I do apologize for that. Okay, I want to be snapping some pictures while I do this from my other account. Because you know how us women are, we like to multitask. And the mold for the bookmark is not on my website. It is not mine. I have not created my bookmarkers yet, so bear with me. I will get to that. So I'm going to open up the little druzy mold here. I poured clear around the edges. I wasn't sure if it was going to work or if it was all going to get mixed together. Just try to squish this out of there for a moment. Uno momento. Okay. Probably a little bit soft yet. Let's flatten that down a little bit. So this is the mold, nice pretty sparkle mold. And this is the beautiful sparkling druzy. And the sides are beautiful baby shiny rhinestone, gemstone. They're all sharp cuts, so they really sparkle. So this is listed for $18 on the website, plus shipping. So as you could see, that is just under 2 inches long and about 1.5 inches wide. I think it turned out rather pretty. Pretty. Where are my flashes on that? Okay, I love it. It turned out beautiful. I have another one, smaller druzy. It's going to be about that big that I'm going to be casting. I'm not ready to make the mold for that one yet, but it'll be coming up soon. I still have 7 molds sitting here that I haven't poured yet. Larger molds for a little bit larger items. I just have to wait till I can get the other 18 pounds of silicone. So it's just going to take a little bit of time. So this is, excuse me for a second while I grab a picture of this. Excuse me. Okay, so this is the box, the new Trinket box. I've been unmolding different colored ones for the last 3 days since I created the mold for it. And the molds are available on the website, lacranchecreations.com, same as the name of the channel. This is still a little bit pliable. I didn't have patience, but I have things I have to get done today. Let me press that down a little bit, straighten it up. That green onion is gorgeous. It is so beautiful. So this definitely needs to sit. So if you do get the mold and you're pouring, you want to either let them sit over time for curing time before you unmold them, or when you take them out, make sure you straighten them because we have to be able to fit the lid on top of the box. Beautiful. Beautiful. And I know I'm out of camera. I'm sorry about that. Very antique looking. I'm doing two things at once here, so forgive me. Okay. We only get one moment when we unmold and open, so we can't forget our Instagram accounts. So this is really, really beautiful, old world looking. And I put some gold on this one to gold leaf it. It's going to be gorgeous. And you know what? Copper would look beautiful on this. I'll bet I could even get away with silver if I wanted to. What do you think? Tell me in the comments. I just love it. This mold is on the website. Remember, there are coupon codes on the website. I encourage you to use the coupon codes. You get $20 off a $100 order. It just depends on which ones. I may add one more code up there. I want to make sure that I want to make sure that I have them for all the products that I'm showing, and it escapes me whether or not what the categories were that I listed the codes up for. So I need to make sure that people can get the discount off of the boxes. If anyone has trouble with the discount for the boxes, please let me know. Please, please, so I can take care of it. So these are the 3 Trinket boxes that I have made in the last few days. They are the first ones. And I think that they look superb. I'm super, super happy with them. So that green onion color is amazing. So the possibilities are endless, as I stated before. I really wanted to do one in black with the black onyx, but I couldn't resist this green onion color. It has a lot of gold in it. It's a dark green with a lot of gold in it. Really, really, really beautiful. And as I was saying for the bookmark, look at that. Can you see that copper? That is a wet paste. Um, I'm pretty sure that they released this. They sent me a lot of samples that I was able to play with for a really long time. And I think that they released this color. If they didn't, just write to them about it. Let them know you saw it on LaCranche Creations and you want that wet copper. So they may have released it. They've released so many incredible products lately. And they were very smart to send me a bunch of samples on the shimmer tints. I was able to use them a couple months before they ever released them. So if you look back on my videos, I have quite a bit of videos of using those products and introducing them. Really, really, they they really they really travel around and they really have their selves together on what they're doing. Um, they're just a small company, so it just takes them a little bit to get things done. They have a few other businesses that they have too, so they're doing the best that they can, but they are super amazing people with super amazing colors and pigments. So let's open up the dish. Let me get my camera set back up again over here. This is really, it's really kind of annoying trying to do this. I constantly have to reset this every single time I go to use it. Okay, so what I want to do is make a little video for my Instagram account there of me opening this. And I'm trying to keep the camera a little bit closer so that I'm not going out of screen on you while I'm doing it for that account. So it looks like I'm okay right here. So again, this was the epoxy candy copper paste. I poured a little bit in here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. And I also used the BlackDiamond, that BlackDiamond color. Did I put that away already? I think I did. So it was called BlackDiamond Black Onyx. And the copper paste. We'll leave that open for just a minute while I do this, just so you could see the colors. And this is a new little Trinket dish mold. This is also listed on the website. This one is $35 for this mold. And again, these are a little bit pliable, so I have to fix it a little bit. Don't want to put my fingers on it too much. So far, I've been lucky. That gold and that black look beautiful together. Love the contrast. Love it, love it, love it. LaCrancheCreations.com. You can find this mold on. Beautiful. So this is Epoxy Candy, Copper Paste, Black Diamond, Black Onyx for this one. I love it. I really love these little guys. And this mold is 128 grams or 4.45 ounces. Grams. This mold is a bit heavier. Let me see where my scale is. I don't even think I don't remember if I weighed this mold or not yet. So we're on grams first. 353 grams. Wow. 12 point, still moving. 12.45 ounces, 12.50. So 12 and a half ounces this mold is. And I like to face my molds. So in 2-part molds, I like to face them together to keep any dust or debris out of them. Because I have a working furnace down here. So I like to keep my molds face down or covered up. Sometimes I cover them with cloth to keep them clean. And to take care of your molds, if you use, if you want to use any type of mold release, these are 2 that I recommend by smoothon.com. So they're the man release 200, and then we have the universal. When you use these, you need to spray far away, like, I don't even know if I have a camera span in here. So you want to spray it at least 12 inches from your item, because you don't want the spray marks and the chemical marks, creating a problem on your mold surface or in your resin. So you just want to mist it. It's just a little mist that you're trying to put on there. I overkilled the first time I did it and dulled out one of my molds by doing that. So you don't want to do that. You want to use your mold release sparingly. Now, when you have a very porous item that is not shiny, you want to give it a little bit better of a coat. But when you're dealing with shiny items, it's more about, for me, it's more about keeping my mold conditioned than it is getting a shiny item out. So yeah, any porous objects, you really want to use your mold release. If any of you remember, I have my gigantic, it was a foot long it's huge, my gigantic crystal cluster, and I didn't put anything on it because I was so excited to get the mold done. I completely forgot to spray my crystal cluster, and it's still a mess. Every time I get a little bit of a chance, I try to get some off of it. So thank God it was the Umu, because Umu only has a year shelf life and it breaks down really easily. So I know I'll never get this crystal quite back to the way that it was, but I am able to start chipping away at it. I'm actually going to hit it with the power washer when the weather gets a little bit warmer and see how much of it might fly off from that. And then I might be able to work on it because it wants to come off. So I'm lucky that I used the I'll call it cheaper stuff. So that's not what we use here. We use Mold Star 15 Slow here, and this has a 35-year shelf life. So something like this, I would not be able to get off of those crystals like I am with the Umu. The Umu really breaks down a lot quicker. Okay. So I have a little, this little mold here. This is not, this is a mold that did not get made in the pressure pot. And I know I say this a lot, but this is for people who may be watching my videos for the first time. So there's air bubbles within this mold. You may not see them with your eye, but they are there. So when you cast resin or epoxy in a mold that hasn't been made in a pressure pot to get all the bubbles out, your item is going to have pimples on it. They call them pimples. What it is the resin and the epoxy has been pushed into any air pockets that were in the mold. And I don't know if you could see them little tiny bumps. Sometimes they scrape off with your thumb. Sometimes you have to sand them down. But this is what happens when you try to cast in a mold that hasn't been pressurized. And then you put it in the pressure pot. And I'm just so used to doing it that I ended up putting that one in there. So I really need to recast this mold and put it in the pressure pot. And then I'll sell this mold for cheap to somebody that doesn't have a pressure pot and will never use a pressure pot. So that's my little Buddha dude. There's a really old little Buddha bead that I had from a long time ago. And let's see. So this is the new mold I got on clearance at Michael's for $5.97. It's for making candy. So we will never use this for any food or anything because we've already casted epoxy and resin in it. So it is now just for resin work and epoxy work. So don't ever cross-contaminate like that. I also have food grade molds on my website. Right now they're just crystal ones that are up there, but eventually I'll be working on more. The cost to make those is super expensive. It's more expensive than this brand of silicone that I'm using. So that's why there's only a couple products on there. So these are really beautiful. This is the StoneCoat Countertops Gold Dust Metallic, and I mixed some ink with it. So I took some blue of the Brie Reese collection from Michael's, and I put 2 drops in with that, and I stirred it in with a toothpick. I actually was doing it while it was in the cavity because I wanted to experiment a little bit. So that is beautiful. We'll just lay that one down there. This one, I added a drop of the Brie Rose Pink Rose ink, and it's Brie Reese, right? Brie Reese, yes. And this one, I use the purple. It's mostly on the back of it. I was stirring it in with a little toothpick. I did not want to scratch my mold. If you stir things inside your molds with a toothpick or whatever and you touch the surface, you're putting permanent scratches in your mold, and it's going to show up on every casting after that. So I was trying to just keep it in the center where it was deep and not touching because I've already ruined a different mold. So what did that was purple. So the purple is more on this side. So mixing colors into the Gold Dust Metallic from StoneCoat Countertops, changing the color but still leaving the gorgeous sparkle. And this is just plain Gold Dust Metallic. And this Gold Dust Metallic is chunky, And it's not where you're going to get a solid gold. You're just going to get all sparkle within your resin. And this is Epoxy cast 460, right? 490. God, I hate being dyslexic. It's 690. Sorry. Okay, let's see what we have here. So this is the copper paste by Epoxy Candy and the BlackDiamond Black Onyx color. And I didn't fill these up all the way, as you see. I did that the other day. And I'm not looking to use up my resin. I have to, I have to penny pinch. I can't just go and blow all my resin and epoxy. So I made these short ones on this one. This has the gold dust in it and the black onyx. In fact, I probably won't be pouring it. I have to do one art item for my mother, and then I won't be pouring for a while. And I've marked down a lot of my molds. I brought them down to better prices. Some of them were up on regular price, and I decided I wanted to bring them down because I want to be able to have people be able to afford them. And it's tough because the materials for making these are quite pricey. Black onyx. So these three are all black onyx. So I really like how they came out short, just putting a little bit in the molds instead of filling them up. I thought maybe I'd be able to use them in other projects more easily than to have them the big chunks like that, because these were made for candy. These are made for big chunks of chocolate. So having just filling them up a little bit is nice too. So I think that worked out nice. Let me grab a snapshot of those laid out there. This is how we do it. Okay. I had one other item, but I don't think it's set up enough. Maybe I will pull it out, but I'm going to have to reshape it. Let me turn my camera back on here. And the birds are going crazy outside. They built a nest right there by my door. And my yard sounds like a bird sanctuary. They're just so busy back there. They love springtime. All right. So I am going to break this one out. It is not completely set up. You know what? Maybe I'm not. This mold is getting worn out. And it's getting dried out. So when they start getting that whitish, I mean, that's already whitish looking, but when they start getting this white, dry look on the edges of them, they're starting to become unhappy molds. I'm trying to open it up so I don't have to bend it too much there. That was good. That was a good move right there. So I had very little left over, and that's when I use the bracelet. I usually use it for my leftovers. It's always good to peel that stuff off. It saves you sanding time. And always wear your respirator if you're sanding, and your goggles. Don't play games. I think it's got a cool looking pattern in there. How about that? So I put a little bit of the titanium white from Epoxy Candy and the purple ink, and I had mixed that together to get this lavender color. So I poured a little bit of that in first, and then I was playing around with the blue on top of, looks like it was on top of some of the gold that was left over. That's what I did. I had a little bit of the gold dust left in the bottom of the cup, and I added the blue ink and stirred that around. And then on the very top, I added some of the white into the teeny bit that was left in the bottom of the cup. And then I poured that in so you could see the different patterns that are going on inside of there. And I came up short on the resin. So I started pushing, had a bunch of stones from the dollar store. So I pushed a bunch of the silver stones in there to bring the level up to the top. And this was actually way up top, but it did have some shrinkage. So of course these bracelets have to be sanded down once they're dried. And these do not fit adults. They don't fit over, but I'm wondering if I could stretch it since it's pliable. If I could make it bigger. I can never wear any of these bracelets. I can't get them on my hand. I can't stretch it that much, so that's not going to work. I have a whole bag of these bracelets that I've made, and I can't do anything with them because they don't fit me. So this year I want to get a table grinder and buffer. I do have a Dremel for, I could hand sand it or go over the edges with a Dremel. I really would like a table grinder and buffer as an addition to my workshop. So I'm really trying to manifest that for 2019. Because that would be nice, because then I could just put all my hazmat gear on, and then I could just sit like this and just grind it and get things done quickly. So that's pretty. I like it a lot. So we used a lot of pretty colors today. We used the green onion by Eye Candy. We used BlackDiamond Black Onyx. We used Gold Dust Metallic by StoneCoat. We used Epoxy Candy Copper Paste. Quite amazing. Always mesmerized by that. And we used some of the Brie Reese Pink Rose, Purple Violet, and Lake Blue inks. And as always, the magical Pinata Rich Gold. This is amazing on your geodes. Just keep it shook up. Keep moving it around so you get the brilliant, brilliant effects of it. And you must shake it up till you hear that bead. Keep it shook up. I mean, it'll sit and separate when you're not using it, but you want to make sure that it is completely shook up before you start using it. This is incredible. It'll make all your projects look professional and amazing, and I highly recommend it. I also used some of the white titanium white T100 from Epoxy Candy. And I think that's all the colors. I covered all the colors. And this was from yesterday, and this was the Lila's Glitzy Glitter from Recollections. That's what's in there. and just a drop, one drop of the pink and one drop of the purple Brie Reese ink was in these. I really wish you could see. I mean, I don't know how to um, light my items up better. I have a big bright light here right next to the camera, but it doesn't seem to light things up as beautiful as I see them. Like this, you can kind of see. This is looks like an antique green, that green onion. And I'm pretty sure from the ones from yesterday, you could see those colors. To see the colors even better, you can look on my Instagram because everything gets posted up on the Instagram. And I also share the Instagram post to my Facebook, LaCranch Creations. So if you're ever curious about the colors, you can always message me. Um, don't be shy. And these are getting shipped out. I have to wrap these up now and go find out what the postage is for these to go to India. Someone bought the castings. Of course, I sell the molds to make these on my website, lacranchcreations.com. And this was made with Epoxy A cast 690. And so was this one. And this has 2 drops of the violet crystal shimmer tints from Epoxy Candy in it to give it the purple color. And these were casted in a pressure pot, so there are no bubbles in them. And I sell these for $20 a piece plus shipping. So I'm going to wrap them up and take the box to the post office and see what it's going to cost to ship to India and pick up my customs forms. And then I'll come home and if they owe any shipping money for that, I will invoice them and they will pay that, and then they will get shipped out. I don't know what it's going to cost to India. I know Spain was $38 in shipping, and Canada was between 26 and 28. So what I do is you automatically pay $7.90 an item in shipping. So what I do is I take that off the shipping amount for international orders, and then I send an invoice on the balance. So these are going. They're so beautiful. So proud of them. And I'm so humbled that I have an order from India and that I've had to ship out orders to Canada and that I have shipped out orders to Spain. It's it's an honor to have customers in other countries, and of course it's an honor to have customers in America too. And so I'm grateful for all of you, for all of your support, for all your wonderful comments, your emails, your private messages. Um, really makes me feel wonderful, and I really appreciate that. Um, when we get to be Grammys and our families are pretty much doing their own thing, we have to find things to make ourselves happy. And when I can't get to see the kids, well, this is what I do to get myself happy other than spend time with my husband and my dog. So y'all make my day, you make my year. I'm really happy with what I do, and I'm happy that I can make you happy, and it makes me so happy to see people using my molds. It's a incredible feeling I never expected to have, and so I'm real happy. And I hope you like the new box. We're going to let it sit, and we're going to straighten it out, and we're going to let it sit and finish curing. And I hope you like how the others turned out. And don't forget this beautiful druzy with these are sharp cut rhinestones on the sides. The whole thing just sparkles so beautiful. I am so happy with this. I have another cool one that's going to be about the size of a quarter or so, and I sell this individually for 18, and what I'm going to do is put this in one side, and I'm going to put the other one next to it. So when I do that, it'll probably be around 25 plus your shipping. And this is just simply amazing. Simply amazing. And don't forget your dish molds. So there's lots of molds to look at. I guess I should count how many I actually have on the website. I was pretty sure I was around 20 or over 20 silicone molds listed up. So please go check out all my pages. I have quite a lot of items listed up. And my super sparkle molds, um, I don't know who would be interested in these, or how crafty people are, but these super sparkle molds are incredible. This is my skull with all the gem fixtures on him. I have my unicorn head. They use quite a bit of silicone to make these too. These are my angel wings, or they could be monster feet. My beautiful heart. And my lovely mermaid tail. So I also have food grade molds up. Any of my molds can be made into food grade molds. So if you have any requests and you'd like to have one of my items made in a food grade mold, all you have to do is message me. Okay? And make something beautiful and rock on, people. I love you. Thanks for all your support. Ciao.